GG Naturals, how you doing? Good morning, good morning. Brenda King, how you doing? Grand Rising. Shy, Shakira, how you doing? Good to see you. Brother Lawrence, good morning, good morning, good morning. So my laptop all of a sudden, unbiased, how you doing? How you doing today, unbiased? So my laptop today, I want to do all updates. I tried to start on time because I do be intentional with trying to be on time, but I don't care what's going on. For some reason, things just seem to go awry. So bear with me. I got to set up real quick. Got to set up real quick on my cell phone. And so I'm going to be struggling with the chat. I can already see that. But I'm going to speak live. Let me speak live. Kathy B, how you doing? LGGG, love, how you doing? Good morning, grand rise and many blessings. Cheryl, how you doing? Much love to you. Hope everything's going well. Hope everything's going to your liking. And if they're not, you're still blessed. All right, I apologize. Let's see if I can get this thing together. All right, where are you? There we go. Let's see if we can get this thing in the right positioning. Now we're going to get started. Cricket. How y'all doing this morning? Beautiful morning, isn't it? I don't know if that work or not. Good morning. I'm going to have to sit up a little bit. Let me sit on the edge of the table for a little while. Because my setup is not conducive of what I'm trying to do. I'm going to move us a little bit, okay? Sorry. It's a little bit of wonkiness. But we're going to see if we can relocate. Bear with me. We're going to relocate, okay? Let's try this position here. Maybe I can get a little bit better right here. All right. All right. How y'all doing this morning? Hope y'all doing well. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Brother Lawrence, how you feeling this morning? The Sassy experience. The experience with Sassy. How you doing? Good to see you today. Much love. Happy Mac, how you doing? All right, J3GS. First of all, I'd like to welcome you all to Eco Nation news that you may or may not be able to use. And I want to say thank you. I really appreciate y'all coming in. Really appreciate you joining Eco Nation News. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your presence and your feedback. So today we got a few things going on. We're going to harvest some of our watermelons. The weather is changing. In Zone 8B, understand when Halloween happens, coldness comes. Typically, you have these kids in these little plastic outfits, and that night will be cold. And then that right there is the beginning of our cooler season. The weather has been very nice. Ryan Hall said that we may be having the northern eastern area will be having some rain, but it won't be hard rain. It's just going to be consistent rain. There is a hurricane out south of California, West Mexico. It's going to push and change the trajectory of the coolness in the air. So we're going to be looking out for all of that. We're going to have a few little changes that's going on. So some of the areas that have been kind of dry, it's going to get a little bit cooler. So we're going to be not necessarily cooler, but a little bit wetter. So we're excited that some of the drought areas will be getting a little bit cooler. So what's going on with y'all today? We made it to another week. Make sure you give thanks because we made it to another week, a week that we did not see before. We didn't know whether we were going to make it or not, but we made it, y'all. We made it another freaking week. And I'm just excited. I'm elated. And I'm going to encourage you to seize the opportunity, right? Seize the opportunity. Status check on Eco Nation. The chicks are still alive. We still got two chicks. They're getting a little bit bigger. I'm noticing that the chickens are starting to change their feathers. They're getting a little bit more fluffier. Sean and the chickettes are maintaining. It's amazing what nature does. If we just sit back and watch how things change and we just observe nature, the plants are starting to get a little bit more browner, orangier, different textures. Some of the fall flowers are starting to really bloom. And we're watching the bees, we're watching insects, the pollinators, the moths. We're watching a lot of stuff take advantage of this situation. Harvest time is the time where we gather, prepare for this winter. So let's follow the patterns of nature. Let's not depend on the grocery stores. Let's not depend on people that we don't know, expecting things that's coming that we don't even know. Let's be prepared. Now let's also think about winter. Right now, our mind should be fully focused and prepared for winter. I gotta tighten up. I'm gonna have to make sure I secure the plumbing because we still have um exposed hoses, water hoses, as well as piping. So it's preparation time. Let's make sure we seal our pipes. If you got outdoor wells, make sure you insulate your piping because you don't want to wait till all of a sudden you notice the news or you notice something and then there's a spontaneous front and then all of a sudden it get cold or you got snow, you got frost. So prepare, 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 prepare. It's so important. That's right, unbiased LLC. Yes, the plumbing is important. Make sure we prepare. Mulch time. This is mulch time for your plants. Typically you want to mulch regardless, but now you want to stack up a little bit more on the mulch, right? This is the time where your plants, where you want to guard the root, guard the base of the plant, and you want to make sure you create a healthy environment for your plants. Think about all the things. Now, just because it gets cold and you may see some moisture in the air, if it's not raining, I'm telling you, I've slipped some years. If y'all have slipped, put it in the chat. It's sometimes in the fall transition to the winter, we don't realize how dry the air is. We need lip chap. We got chapped lips, we got dry skin. If we're dry, guess what our plants are? They dry. So we need to make sure we water, even though the days are not as hot, but the plants are still going through the process of growing. Miss Native Cherokee, how you doing? A lot to do here too. For the winter, hen house and green poles need insulation. Yes. Think about insulating. Think about sealing your cracks. And when you wake up early in the morning, if you can, if you're available to be at your home, you want to, before you cut on the lights, look around your home. Look for daylight to be creeping in. Find ways to seal those things because how do we suppress or mitigate during inflation and cost is we being prepared and make sure we put everything in place. So buy you some caulk, buy you some insulation, buy you some foam. Do what you need to do. Spray foam is awesome up underneath your structures, around your structures. Caulk it, caulk it, caulk it, right? Look around your window sills. Make sure you caulk. Think about different insulation. Some rooms that you will not go into, you may not use or enter. You can take some either plastic or some insulation, and then you can place that insulation inside your window sills and you can seal it. This will reduce your costs. This will help you be able to navigate through that process. Think about it, y'all. The more money you save, the more that you can survive in a balanced situation. The problem is instability comes from the unknowns. But if we try to prepare for the unknowns, then guess what happens? We are in a better situation than we normally would be. So let us be prepared. What we got in the chat, y'all? Unbiased says thick plastic works wonder. Yes, it does. Go ahead and get it now, right? What are y'all doing for as warming and heating? Now we're getting ready to have heaters in stores. If you got a buddy heater, go ahead and be trying it out right now. You got heaters, furnace, start them now, because typically when you start your furnace, if you haven't used your furnace, for people in the South, it's going to set off the smoke detector, the carbon detector, everything. Go ahead and change your filters, because we got a new season. Every season, I like to change mine monthly, but if you don't get around to monthly, go ahead and change them out. And if you're in a place where they do routine maintenance, ask your landlords, ask your property managers, please change out my filters, because it's getting ready to be that time. Regenerative Life, Wayne, how you doing? Many blessings to you. How y'all doing today? Good to see you all. What's up? I just scooted over here. Let us welcome in the fabulous, the amazing Miss Gigi.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in and have a seat.
All right.
Let's see. Let's see what we got here.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Hi. How's everybody doing? Whew.
Are you all winded
I was
already?
sleeping. No, man, I'm still tired.
Yeah.
I was sleeping too good this
It's
morning.
been a long week. I
It's
think
been a
a
very, very
lot
long
of
week.
people are trying to really cram, due to the fact of, we know holidays are coming on. We know people gonna be in and out of connection.
Yeah.
And so I think it's cram time right now. So these last few weeks for us, they've been very busy, very hectic. But at the same
Yeah.
time, we kind of pulled through it at the
We
same
we
time.
we pulled through it.
Yeah.
But boy, last week was like I was about to get my bag and go home.
Oh, don't say it like
I
that.
was
Don't
about to
say
get
it
my
like
bag and
that.
go home. Good morning. How you doing, Grace Guys? How you doing, Miss Native Cherokee? Miss Native, is today your birthday? Happy birthday.
Happy
Happy birthday.
birthday.
Or it may be tomorrow, but happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday,
you. I
Miss
know
Native.
we'll talk in between time, but Kathy B, how you doing? Brother
Blessings.
Lawrence, how you doing? Good to see you. The experience with Sassy, how you doing? It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day.
Yes, it is. It's around 61 degrees here in the beautiful state
Feels
of
hotter.
Florida.
Is it just me?
Well, when I woke up at 61, I need to check.
Oh,
I need to check now, see what's going on. But I know when I got out this morning, it was like 61. I'm quite sure it's slowly. It says it's going to be a sunny day, but we got an overcast day.
yeah.
We have a day where it's like a little, I don't know, fallish. It feels fallish. So
Yeah, it definitely does. It felt a little bit warmer than I anticipated because I was like hoodie, and then I had to go back in and change because I was like, okay. I'm glad you
stay
didn't let them
focused.
out.
Stay focused.
I'm really
That's the
glad you
reason
didn't
why I
let them
got
out.
them locked. We're not gonna focus on it. Nope. Nope. We're not focused on it.
But they're so cute.
It's tomorrow. So Miss Native is tomorrow.
Yes,
Well,
tomorrow.
happy early birthday. Shout out to
Oh yeah,
Miss
it's
Native
73 right now.
Cherokee.
So I'm like,
Oh, 10
man,
degrees. I've been
yeah.
up for probably about, well, let's say this. We
You gotta
typically
look up
get
on
up
me.
about 4 o'clock. No, I'm talking about got up. I got up an hour because I said I got an hour. I got up and outside an hour for this broadcasting.
Oh,
And I sat out here and I just looked around. I listened to the sounds, and Sean wasn't as vocal until I went live. But at the same time, it's just I'm starting to get used to the whine of the peanut meal down the road. It's starting to be a part of the silence and quietness, and it kind of adds texture to it at the same time. So,
yeah.
regardless, it's still a beautiful day, and we're gonna really enjoy the day and get ready to be prepared for the week that's coming up. We got a lot of stuff going on, but we're looking forward to it as well. So,
Hey, Robert, you learn with Robert.
Robert,
How you
what's going
doing?
on? So let's talk about this. One of the things that I definitely want to kind of get us in mind for, um, what things do you want, and then what are the prices you're willing to pay for 'em? So think about this. What things do you feel like you're lacking right now? No matter what it is, what things that you feel like you need and you don't have? And remember, with this frame of mind, when we're placed on this earth, we got everything that we need, everything that we have. You remember I had a conversation with you about here it is, these geese have flown in to one of the most luxurious place in the area, right?
Yeah.
These homes probably start at $600,000-700,000 plus, right?
Hmm.
And we know there's no max. We got $1 million homes, but they fly in, right? And they come into these ponds, into these lakes, and then they eat, and they eat the grass, and they do whatever they have to do. They pay no taxes. They don't fill out no permits. They don't pay no rent.
They leave a minefield worth of poop
Well,
all over
we ain't
the.
even gonna get to that part. We
They
here it is where they
Oh my
are
God.
dropping their crap. And guess what? They don't have no bags walking around picking up their crap and putting it in no bags and then putting it into
You trying to
section.
walk, man. You have to go. That's why I call it a minefield, because you
Yeah.
have to be like, oh my gosh, you stepping all over the place, trying to be careful not to step into
Right, left, right,
into
left,
they stuff.
left, right. Yeah, I mean, but I think about what we do for as man and how we do what we do.
Yeah.
And then I think about what things do you want in your life if you already have everything you need. But you know what happens? Man limits us to achieving in so many ways what we want to, unless we do it in our
I was
brain.
about to say, does man or do we as individuals limit
That's
ourselves?
where
Because
I'm trying
nobody
to
can
go
stop
to.
you from doing anything.
That's what I'm trying to go to. Because, you know, think about it. When we kids, we run around, we play, and what's the first thing parents do? Sit down, be still.
Yeah.
Don't run around.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't do that. To me, the most freeing time of a person's life is when they're young, before they are conditioned to do what society tells them to do.
Right.
And then you spend 20, 30, 40, 50 years trying to undo and unravel all of those things that whoever raised you, whoever influenced you, whoever motivates you, you spend all of those years trying to unravel it. And then some people won't get it to 30, 40, 50 before they be like, I'm living my best life.
Yeah. I'm gonna do things on my
I'll do
terms
things
now.
on my term. And it's like right now, if we got to the part, Miss M. Edwards, how you doing?
How you doing, M. Edwards?
Them geese living the life. Yeah. And you
Yeah.
know what?
How you doing, J3G as far?
When the food runs out where they are, J3, guess what they're gonna do?
Somewhere.
They're gonna go somewhere else and find some resource.
Yeah.
But yet we spend our times locked into these environments where they're not conducive for us to flourish, not conducive for us to grow. And we try to make it work, and we work so much trying to make it work, and we fighting against nature.
Yeah.
We're fighting against what's internal within us. I don't understand why some people say, I don't understand why I get so bored. Because it's time to grow. It's time
Yeah.
to move. It's time to
Yes.
move forward.
The grown people saying they bored is like, I don't know. It almost annoys me when grown people say that they're bored, because I'm
Mhm.
like, you have the whole world in your hands. You have everything out here that you can be doing. There are just so many things that you can be doing in this
So
world,
Dave,
in this
Dave,
life. How you doing, David?
what's going on? David
That
Corey with Crop.
you are bored as a grown up. I could see children saying, I'm bored, because we are always limiting children to things.
Sweet Thumb, how you doing?
But how you doing, Sweet Thumb? But for grown-ups to be talking about they bored, I don't know.
Well, you think about this, you grow up as a child, and then you get to the part where you are now adult. And the next thing you do, you go and try to achieve everything that you wanted as a child. And you find out that it's a form of slave. It's a form of imprisonment. It's a form of being obligated to owe somebody else, because you realize that everything has a cost.
Mhm.
And then you want these certain things. And then when you obtain some of these things, you end up saying, man, was it really worth it? Was it really worth me sacrificing 15, 20 years to
Good
obtain
morning, Miss
something?
Shirley. How you
Hey,
doing?
Miss Shirley, how you doing? Was it really worth it, you know? And then as you get older, you start to notice the value of things. You really start to notice the value of things. And when I say older, it has nothing to do with age. I'm talking about experience. You could be 20, you can be 18, you could be 16, you could be 34 or whatever. As you experience certain things and you work for certain things, you start understanding the value of it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's crazy. It reminds me of something that I thought about, right? Imagine you got four individuals, right? They're walking into work. Those four individuals all have a bag, and it's the tools for their profession.
Mhm.
And as they walk into work, they pass by buildings, and then all of a sudden, an earthquake comes, and it scares them, it startles them, and then they run up a flight of stairs on a fire exit, right? And then all of a sudden, the earthquake comes and shake the bag out of their hands, and the bags drop to the ground. And then it shake a little bit more, and then those four individuals, just say the four individuals are a firefighter, a mechanic, a doctor, and a carpenter, right? All of their bags hit the ground first, and then all of a sudden they fall and they hit the ground. And two of them are hurt, severely hurt, but the doctor's not hurt. My question in the chat, what's the first thing that the doctor does when they all hit the ground? What you think the first thing to do?
Sees who he or she can help.
The first thing the doctor does is
See
get up
who's hurt the
and check
worst.
on themselves, right?
Oh well, that's true.
That's the first thing.
That's
And that's
true.
the thing. You cannot be a blessing
That's
to
true.
others unless you check and examine yourself and make sure you're good and make sure you're
What
whole.
about you said the doctor went hurt?
He wasn't hurt,
Okay.
but he had to first check to make sure he wasn't
Well,
hurt.
that's true.
That's
That's
the
true.
first thing he
That's true.
does. And that's the first thing we need to do because I watch so many people work so hard who try to help so many people
And I ain't helped to
and
self
they
yet.
hurting
Yeah.
and they're not even healed within themselves.
Yeah.
And we got to focus on making sure and stop letting society tell you that we're selfish by
Mhm.
checking on yourself, by making sure you're good so you can help others.
I was on the airplane just recently,
Mm. Okay, what happened?
and you know when the flight attendants start to talk,
Mhm.
and they start talking about that wonderful oxygen
Mhm.
mask that drops down.
Yeah.
They still telling you the same thing from the beginning of time, telling you the same thing. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have children or if you have someone that you're caring for, put the oxygen mask on yourself first.
Yeah.
Make sure you're okay. Then you can give some oxygen to those people.
So when you think about this, let's go back to when you was a child, right? Let's think about when you was a child. You ran free, you laughed, you learned a lot, you spoke your mind, you was free. And we understand there are things that we have to do in society. Like in society, there are certain things that is permissible and certain things are not.
Mm.
But somehow we have locked our minds into believing that simple things like some of these things that don't quite make sense in life. It's just like right now, classic example. I got bills out the yin yang, right? Here I am. I'm trying to take care. I'm a single mom, single dad, trying to take care of my kids. And everything is just increasing, 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 right? And then here I am trying to take care of my kids. And I feel like I'm not winning. I feel like I can't keep up. And then there's a list of bills that got to be paid. And then I'm thinking, like, what do I do? How do I prioritize my life? And we have to have those conversations with ourselves to the part where, like, how do you prioritize what matters and what doesn't? Sometimes you got to let go of certain things.
Mm.
You got to find creative ways to turn loose certain things. You know, I get it. They're valuable, but at the time, I got to put the mask on my face, right? At the time, I got to put certain things in place. You know, you're going to be into these levels, what we call stress, because we're trying to fit in to a society that ever changing and that's very judgmental. But at the same time, you got to erase some of that stuff and understand who you are, who your core is, and what's best for you. And you got to focus on making sure that you're whole so that you can take care of your kids, your mom, your dad, your aunties, whoever. A philanthropist can't be a philanthropist without earning the money first.
Mm,
You got to get the bag and be in a good situation and then making sure that you and your family is good before you can help the world,
mm,
right? So one thing that I'm learning that as I progress in age and experiences is that I want to leave something far more than just me consuming, consuming, consuming.
mm,
But I want to leave something what people call a legacy, something that can be given to generations after generations after generations. You know, back in 1984 or 85 might have been a Nissan Maxima or a Datsun, whatever it was at that time. But then come 1992 might have been a S-Class Benz, right? And then the Lamborghinis or whatever. And now think about it. You toil and you toil and you do and you do and you obtain those things. And what does it matter now?
mm.
You know, what does it matter? So quality of time and quality of space is so important. So what's going on in the chat, y'all?
Regenerative Life Wayne says, what does the squirrel do in the fall? Gather nuts for itself, first prepping for the cold. Winter every day. As Native said, one can't save others if you can't save yourself. Absolutely. How you doing, Odoms? How you
What's
doing,
up,
Trish in
Otis?
Progress?
How you doing? Trish in progress? Thank you for coming in. So as we think about moving on and preparing for the winter and we think about preparing for life itself, what are some of the things you're doing as far as, developing yourself and growing within yourself?
I don't know that you asking me about my personal, like my personal growth right now. Okay.
Whatever the spirit tells you when I ask you
Okay.
that question.
Well, the spirit is telling me to let's talk about this homestead.
Mhm.
Let's talk about this homestead. I definitely want to. One of the things that is like first and priority on my list is to make sure that we're protecting these citrus trees this year. That
Mm.
is like priority number one because last year, like we have a couple of trees that are still like kind of stunted from last year.
Yeah.
And so things like the Satsuma, I don't know what's going on with the Satsuma. It's cold hardy. The cold didn't bother it at all. It gets really cold. The Satsumas can take like up to -2 probably, I think is
Mhm.
one of the things I read in the past about the Satsuma. So it's fine. The kumquat is fine. It can take a lot of cold, but some of the other uh larger citrus fruits, they actually need to be protected much, much better. So that's one of the main things that is like, a big goal of mine is to go ahead and start because we didn't expect cold this early.
Mhm.
We didn't expect the cold to be here and happening in the 40s before Halloween.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest things right now that's on me. And then the next thing is I gotta finish. We still got some peppers that are over there, so I still gotta clean out that area. Take those peppers. I've been using peppers. I've been doing a lot of um oils. I've been doing a lot of tinctures, mushroom tinctures, um, just different things. Ginger, garlic, garlic oils, cayenne oils, just different types of things that the family can utilize to cook over the colder temperatures. And one of the things I'm really excited that hopefully within the next year, we're going to go ahead and make a decision about what we want to do with housing so that we can go ahead and get me a kitchen. I need my kitchen back. I need my kitchen
Well,
back
we're gonna get a
because
couple of kitchens.
I need an outdoor and an indoor kitchen.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Fam, I just want to encourage you all. Whatever you're lacking in your life right now, figure out a way to do it. Send out the prayers and send out the best wishes to us, because the goal is Eco is going to figure out a way that I can obtain the home that we want, the place we want, and we're not going to be paying them 20 and 30 years for it. We're not going to be paying
Nah,
15
we ain't
years
doing
for it.
that. We're definitely
We
not
are
doing
going to obtain something, and I'm speaking into existence because
Yeah.
that's what we do. It's going to be 10 years max, 5 years to 3 years. It's going to be built, placed here, and it's going to be in the position where we can easily afford it. My goal was to pay for it cash, but I realized we want a
We
few
still might.
things. Well, the thing
We
is,
still might.
we still might. I mean, there's
And I'm
always
playing.
tomorrow.
That is my
There's
goal.
always tomorrow.
That's my plan.
And then some people say, "Well, how you do that? Hey, Veggie, how you doing? How do you do that? How do you do what you
Hi,
want to
Reggie
do?"
Fine. How you
You know,
doing?
when we want cars,
Shakira.
when we want vehicles, we find a way.
We figure it out.
Sometimes it's picking up another job. Sometimes it's creating something. And then think about this on the homestead too.
Sorry, that was me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you got to be careful with
I'm
that
sorry.
now.
My bad.
When you're on the homestead or when you're trying to live off the land, let me tell you, the ruler you go, the harder it is to manage the needs of the homestead, because some people think off grid is very cheap and inexpensive.
Well, it ain't.
It's not. By no means is it cheap or inexpensive. It's much cheaper for us to be in a neighborhood than it is for us to commute, for us to sustain life, to maintain stuff, and it's far less work, right?
But you can't buy this piece.
Exactly. And
You
then on
can't put a
top of
price
that,
on that.
what you're doing, you're investing in things you won't have to do later on.
Yeah.
The infrastructure, everything that's been put in place, we won't have a continuum of monthly bills by having that. We have no water bill. You know, we have no electric bill. It's certain things we don't have to deal with that most people have to deal with, right? What are you doing? Whatever you want. If you got a piece of land, you want to dig a well, what you doing? What things and what gifts do you have to the world that you can share? Whether it's writing, whether it's finding a side hustle, whether it's cutting grass, whatever. You put something to the side that you're good at and you want to monetize it and you want to go out there and you want to buy it, right? And you can buy it cash and think big. Don't think small, think big. And what I mean by think big, like our house will not be this big, gigantic house. We don't want all of that. We've been there, done that. We don't want to maintain that. We don't want to be having to clean 4,000 and 5,000 square feet. Can you get it? Yeah. But we don't want to be heavily in debt. We want to be free to go to the beach when we want to. We want to be free to go visit family. We want to be free to have cookouts, gatherings. We don't want to be so constrained to the part where, yeah, we got a beautiful home. And we already understand that the moment you sit a nice home in the state of Florida on 20 acres, the value will go through the roof, right? We understand that. But we want to be balanced and we want the situation where it's going to be something where we can enjoy and then for generations to come. So we're looking forward to that. And we're really going to kind of be screening down our whole process of what we're doing. And hopefully going into this part of next year, we'll be pretty much looking at our place and what we're going to do.
Shakira said, I'm so tempted to try these trees gangster this year and leave them outside. Yeah, we tried it.
Well,
And
this is the thing. If you do leave it outside, put it close to your house.
yeah,
Yeah, put it close to your structure because
it's
you
gonna
got
be heat.
you got radiated heat that comes off of
Yeah,
your structure. So
yeah, yeah,
what we used to do, we couldn't put everything inside.
yeah.
So during those cold nights, I would put alongside the back of my home all of my palm trees, tropical trees, all of that. I would just drag the pots and then put them over there next to the house.
Yeah, that's actually how I overwintered my peppers the first year.
Yeah.
That was how I overwintered my peppers. I just put them up because I had so many that I was trying to overwinter. I put some of
Hey,
them up
Cassandra.
against the house. How you doing, Cassandra? I put uh a lot of them up against the house, and then a couple of them were in our boom boom room.
Mhm.
So we just kind of we were able to do it that way. But the ones that were closer to the house, they actually did better because they were getting that radiant heat from the
Yeah.
house. Because the boom boom room, we weren't just every day
It
running
gets real cold in there.
running the heat in there, and then overnight it would get super cold inside, sort of like the RV does. It'll be colder inside than on the outside.
Hey,
So,
Katie, Katie.
Katie, how you doing?
Sorry, Katie, Katie.
You're not late. You're not late. You're
Welcome
right
in.
on time.
Welcome in. So when you think about the whole process of growing and obtaining what you want,
Sacrifice now for total freedom later. For total freedom. That's what he said.
who said?
See, put my glasses on. Sacrifice now for total freedom later, debt free. That
Yeah.
part. That part, Wayne.
I mean, Wayne, let's go down this road. Think about it. If you're debt free, right? What does that mean? We already know you're gonna have to owe somebody something. But imagine if you're earning $2,000 or $3,000 a month, you're not putting 1,500, 1,200, $900 into your mortgage or rent. You know, there's certain things you're not having to pay for, no car payments, no nothing. And then it used to be a point in time where I can remember, if I can I take a few moments just to share about me and
Mhm.
my mom journey?
Absolutely.
So what I'm saying is I can remember my mom is an amazing woman.
Hmm.
She is so resilient, it's crazy, right? She's an incredible woman. I remember when my mom, and my dad got a divorce. I was young, I was really young, right? And we lived in South Florida down in Miami area. But I remember mama, she had custody of me. And I remember she said, I can't raise my child down here in Miami alone and have a quality life, right? And then so we moved, I think, to Fort Walton Beach because she remembered good times because she was a nurse. And she remembered good times where she did good at Fort Walton Beach. And we lived there for a little period of time. And we rented this home. I still remember the apartment, the duplex. The owner lived on the other side of the duplex, and they had a little girl. She had a freckle face. They had a fish tank. We talking about I'm like 4 and 5. I still remember those memories. And we stayed next to a tennis court. But I remember um, interacting with them. Life seemed to be good. They kind of babysitted me while mama went to work, but we was all alone, right? We just had each other. Then I remember mom said she would talk to me. Like my mom would literally talk to me about what's getting ready to happen and talk through the process. And she said, you know what? Um, I'm gonna move back home from where I was born, back home to family because I need help to raise you. I need a support system to raise you. So we're gonna move back to Georgia. And I remember we moved back to Georgia and we was in this single wide trailer and it was kind of built pieced together by multiple trailers. And it was owned by my grandmother. And there was my two uncles, my aunt, my grandmother, my mom, and myself. We all stayed in that one two-bedroom, one bath, single wide trailer. And I remember my mama she went to work, she went to school, she would work two jobs. Even though she was living there, she knew that she wanted something more than that, right? She knew she wanted to grow further than that. And so I remember sleeping with my auntie, my grandmother in a single little twin bed. And I remember I used to think my grandma was gonna crush me.
Mhm.
I remember I would sleep against the wall. I was like, please don't squeeze me, grandma. And she said, boy, I ain't gonna squeeze you. And then I remember we take country rides and she found this trailer sitting off into this pasture. And it had like these trees, these pecan trees, and the grass was tall. And it was probably about either late 60s or early 70s trailer.
Mhm.
And it was like y'all remember those not superstar, but you remember the yellow and brown ice cream?
Ew, yeah.
The banana and brown ice cream. That's what this trailer looked like. It was yellow in the center and brown at the top and brown at the bottom, right? And I remember mama used to look at this place and we'd go out in the country, we'd look at this place, we'd look at this place, and she would be like, this gonna be our home one day. And I said, okay, okay. And I thought it was a mansion, I ain't, you seen a lot of stuff. We traveled because my dad was in the Air Force. We traveled the world. We lived in California, Japan. We lived all over the place. And I seen stuff young in my age, but that seemed like a mansion because it was my mom, her goal, her dream, right? And she worked. And I remember she would go and pay some money and pay some money. But it used to be a time where you could save up and pay for a home.
Mhm.
And I remember she bought the home and they brought it in and they sat it next to my grandmother's house. And I remember the look on her face and how proud she was. And we spent weeks scrubbing that place down, cleaning that place. My uncles came in, they helped repair stuff.
Mhm.
We did all kinds of stuff. And man, the Christmases and the get togethers we would have at that little single wide trailer, it was crazy. All my cousins would come over. We'd have little cookouts. We had gatherings, and that was like that sense of home,
And
right?
she's still a party girl to this day.
She's still part of the girl today. She's still entertained to this day, right? And it's like it's nothing like having your own. And sometimes it's not about all of this big, grandiose type situation where you so focused on doing everything except for loving your family and being around family
Mhm.
and nurturing family to the part where you lose sight just because you got stuff, but you
Yeah.
lose sight and you entertain strangers and people who that you never knew and people you really still don't know instead of spending that quality time with your support system and people that really care for you. So that just kind of reminds me of being resilient and understanding it's important to have land ownership. If my grandmother wouldn't have been a sharecropper, wouldn't took care of this family all the way to their death. And
Mhm.
then we already know the story. If y'all been watching my channel, you already know that when they died, the in-law, daughter-in-law, had the estate and she tried to kick my grandmother off the property. And she said, you didn't own it because the guy always said that this is your property, but they never got it in writing. They never even got even on a napkin or anything in writing.
Mhm.
And here it was, my grandma spent her whole entire life raising 5 kids by herself. And then on top of that, here it is, she leaving places on this land where she helping other generations, 2 and 3 generations. And then now they saying, get off the land.
Mhm.
After she done took care of this child, this woman had a child that had a natural defect. It was not a whole child far as intellect. And I remember my grandmother would take care of this child like it was her own and raise this child. And she then turn around and say, get off the property, y'all leave.
Mhm.
But make a long story short, there was a good ending. And it's not often that we as African Americans have a good ending. My uncle and my mom, they got together and they found out that the guy didn't even own the property. They found out that the guy didn't even have the property in his name. And the city, they didn't even realize that that property was there when they went back and tried to do a survey and stuff. And then so they said, hey, pay some back taxes, which it was very, very low, some hundreds of dollars. And now this property can be yours. And then my grandmother was able to regain that property and had that property. And that property is still in our family to this day.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to go to your county and, you know, find out information about land, because just like if they would have just listened to this woman
Mm.
and
They would've
just
just left.
left, then she would have had access to something that wasn't even hers.
Yep.
So their family benefits now to this very day just because they went down to the county and said, hey, we want to know information about this piece of property. County don't even know about the property. And they like, "Psh, you want it? You pay for it. It can be yours."
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Because they didn't have a ownership of this slither of land,
Yeah.
they end up owning the land.
Mhm.
the city and the county. And then they just said, "Oh, it's valued at such and such," and then they say the approximate tax is such and such.
Mhm.
And my uncle, my mom, my uncles, and my mom got together, gathered the money, and they paid it. And my grandmother, to this day, is still blessing her kids and her kids' kids
Mhm.
with her sacrifice and washing dishes, running the stove,
Yes.
cut. I mean, imagine this. This woman get up before night, right? She get up. I mean, for a day. She walks across the street. She opens up the store. Whenever they had chickens or whatever, she fed the geese, the chickens, the ducks, and all of that. She go into the house. She prepares a meal for breakfast before they get up. If it's cold in the house, she start the fire in the fireplace. She do all of that, and she prepared the meals, and then she go outside once the meal is ready to go, and they all seated at the table because it wasn't just that family. It was like people that were their nephews and kin. They would come in for breakfast and sit at this big old table, and then she'll go outside and she'll open up the store. She interact with customers. She do transaction because it was like a back in the days in South Georgia, you had like these stores that sold fruit and vegetables and fish and eggs and all that kind of stuff. And she would manage that store. And then finally, the owner's wife will come and help her out. And then they'll have some other help to come in and help. And then once they establish, then she'll go back inside the house, wash some clothes, clean the dust, mop, clean bathrooms, make up beds, and then be at the same time preparing for what we call dinner.
Mhm.
She would prepare dinner, and then by the time it's lunchtime, she would ring this bell or yell out, and then people from around, including the store people and everything else, she would feed all of us. I would sit at this little stepping stool in the kitchen, and I would sit there and I would eat on the side while they fellowshiped at the table. And this happened 7 days a week.
Mhm.
And my grandmother, except for the store wasn't open, and she was able to leave after dinner on Sundays. And if she had to go to church on Sundays, she wouldn't come over, which was like once or twice a month she would go. But think about this: the majority of her life, that's what she did. And the only thing she wanted to have was a place for her kids to rest their bones and for her to rest. And she spent her whole entire life till she couldn't do it like that. No, none of them sick days. I don't even remember my grandma having no sick days until she was later on in her life.
Mhm.
She got up every morning, every day. And when the fish truck came in, it was even earlier. She would walk in the middle of the night with a flashlight, and she'll walk out there and meet the fish guy maybe three or 4 o'clock in the middle of the night, and then make sure everything was accounted for, and then go back to bed and get up right back again before day and start that whole process over again. And the
Mhm.
fish truck came on Thursday because Friday everybody was there. It's
Mhm.
like I sat there and I witnessed a amazing queen do some amazing things, and then the average person would be like, "I got to go to work. I got to get up. I got to do this. I got to pay rent. I got to pay the light bill. I got to pay the cable bill." And I don't remember her complaining.
Mhm.
I don't remember her complaining. The only time she would say something is when she hurt.
Mhm.
But then she'd get right back up the next day. Right? So shout out to all the amazing grandmothers, great
Homestead
grandmothers,
grandmamas.
the ones that worked the fields, the one that came in from the
Love them
fields,
grandmamas.
the one that took care of the kids. And I get it. Some of them didn't have the perfect raising, but they taught you what it took to survive, y'all. It
Mhm.
took what it took to survive. And I send my shout out and my salute. And you laid the groundwork and the foundation, because I did not mention granddaddy or grandpas or none of that in none of this story that I'm giving you because they weren't there.
Mhm.
You know, I knew I had a granddad, but he died when I was young,
Mhm.
but there were no granddads and there was 5 children.
Mhm.
I remember one, the youngest daughter granddad, and he was married. So most of the people, they did what they did and they left. And that we left our mamas and our beautiful queens there to hold the bag. So I'm not justifying for them cutting up right now or doing whatever they're doing, but damn, These women have worked their butts to the bone. It's time for them to live a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And we need to come back and step up and make family whole again.
Let me read something
Okay.
that Wayne
I'm
said.
sorry,
He
y'all. I'm
said,
ranting a little
"No,
bit.
you're fine, baby. You're fine. It's Eco Neighbor Channel.
I know, but
Okay,
I'm here to collaborate with the people. I apologize. Oh, Mutt, what's
you
going on,
fine. How
old
you
Mutt?
doing,
Grace
old Mutt?"
Gines.
Um, Regenerative Wayne said, Eco Neighbor, I have a nice family, Asian family behind my house, 7 people in one house. I talk to them about gardening, give them plants, etc. They told me why they all live in one house to grow wealth.
Mm.
Yeah.
You got to sacrifice some things to change the trajectory of your people.
Yeah.
Um,
Somebody got to be the one to
somebody got to
sacrifice.
do it. Somebody got to break the cycle. The only way you break the cycle to break the bike. You keep riding on that bicycle and it keep taking you nowhere. You got to break that bicycle and rebuild and regain, because I will not leave my kids without nothing.
Mm.
I don't, it doesn't matter whether I sell this land, keep this land, or not do whatever I'm gonna do. If I build a community out here, if I have rental property, whatever, I will not under my watch leave my kids without nothing. And
Simple as
too
that.
many generations are being left to start from the beginning. And we so self-absorbed to the part
Mm.
where we don't understand the importance of, imagine man being first placed here. The first thing the man was given was what? Work. He was also given a territory, a space of land. He was also given the things that he needed to be abundant in that land.
Mm.
It's only man that separates us from the abundance. The abundance is there, but we got to break those barriers. And we might have to do some sacrificing to change the trajectory of what we're doing. And when we change those things, when we change our mindsets and we change what we're doing and we change our habits, guess what happens? We start watching change happen in our lives. We start watching change happen to other people's lives. And it
Mm.
starts with us. The moment you get that idea in your head, that's the moment when change start to manifest.
Amen. Amen. That's the only way it's gonna happen.
That's the only
Gotta
way.
change that mindset. How you doing, Be Rich?
What's up,
Says
Be Rich?
working but listening.
Man, I
All right,
appreciate you,
take your
man.
time, take it easy. Take it easy. Um, Katie said, Eco, your story about your grandmother's family's land is phenomenal. I love that your family persevered and now look at the legacy your family shares. Wow, what a feel good, happy ending. Absolutely. Agree. Agree. J3 GS Warren said, thanks to grandmas, we are here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
D Jackson said, hey, D Jackson, how you doing? Said, don't apologize. You're speaking life with the past, present, and future.
yeah. And the question is right now, what are we doing right now? Um, and some people get caught up on materialistic things,
Mhm.
but some of us don't have materialistic things to give. But you know what we can give? We can give some wisdom and some knowledge. Now,
Mhm.
make sure when you give this wisdom and this knowledge, you don't enforce it upon nobody.
Mhm.
You put it out there in the atmosphere,
Yeah.
and those that will be receptive, they will grab it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too many
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
we want people to, we done been here 50, 60, 70 years or 40 years or 35 years, and we done made 15 million mistakes. And then we try to be such a tyrant over some of our youth
Mm.
to be like, our intentions are good, but we don't understand that youth has their own journey. That
Mhm.
youth has its own path. That youth learns and process information in a different manner than we do.
Mm.
Our youth are grabbing information left and right and right and left.
Mm.
Now understand, because everybody got a platform, everybody can write a book, everybody does a lot of misinformation on there. You look at television, you look at media, there's a lot of misinformation. But one thing about it, if we go back to the fundamental, the cores of why we are here and what's our purpose in life, we share those gifts with our youth, and then we let them process that, and then make those decisions, and we empower them to make those decisions, and we trust them to make the best decision, because our youth is beautiful. They
Mhm.
are free thinking. They are unboxing the 8 hour, the 30 years enslavement of a job. they are challenging situations. They're doing what Warren Buffett is doing, but they're doing it instead of 10 and 15 years. They're doing it within 1 year, 8 months. They
Yeah.
buying businesses. They doing business acquisition. They scaling the business. They selling the business. Take notes, pay attention, and then let's encourage and empower and give our kids the resources and the options. The more options you give your kids, the more options they can make the right decision.
I'm about to have me a 30-year-old mentor, a couple of them. I need some 30-year-old mentors
For real,
because
for real.
these young people, they are focused. They
I
focused
appreciate
and
y'all
they're
sharing this
dedicated.
thing out too.
Thank you,
And,
thank
and
you.
let
How
me
you
let me
doing,
let me
GT
let me
Junior?
say this thing. You know, if you're being encouraged by this live broadcast, because y'all encourage me, please like it, continue to comment, and whenever you get a chance, don't be afraid to hit that share, because it helps this channel and it helps us get the word out. Because my goal is I want to edify. Gigi wants to build the world. We don't want to just build just one little small little network. We want to like truly be there to change generations, right?
Yeah.
In order to do that, the algorithm need to know that people are interested in it.
And guess what? And we need you all because the algorithm
Yep.
is not about to control us.
Correct.
The algorithm it controls so many people, but we refuse to allow the algorithm to control us.
Because
So
you are the
that's why we
change breaker.
need you all.
Yeah.
We need you all to share it out, to share our information out, whether it's a video or whether it's a live stream, whatever. Share that information out, share the videos out, because we refuse to be slaves to this algorithm and say the algorithm says you got to make sure that you're posting multiple times on a platform a day. You got to make sure that you're on there every single day. You're this and you're that. And we're just saying the people that support us, we just going to depend on y'all because we're not one-dimensional people. We do a variety of things. If my channel could already been at 20,000 if I were to just focus on one thing and just do that one thing and just keep repeating the same stuff over and over again, I could probably been at 20,000 already, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not a one-dimensional person. I do a lot of things. I do a variety of things, and that's how I prefer to share. I prefer to share these things. That's how I still get people coming saying, hey, I need to learn how to make some soap too, because I don't just share the fact that I'm a gardener. I share a variety of things that I do. People coming and saying, I need to learn about these tinctures. What are these tinctures doing? What are these oxymels doing? What are, all of this stuff? What is it doing? How do I do this? I get to be that support for people because I'm not willing to just be a slave to this algorithm.
So the experience with Sassy said, I tried to bestow some wisdom on a younger person and was told I thought I was a financial guru and to give them grace to make mistakes.
And you know what, Sassy? They do need that grace.
Yeah.
They do need that. One of the young ladies that I get to talk to on a regular basis, 24, 25 years old, that's one of the things that she is always saying that older people don't give them is grace to be able to make their mistakes and be able to do things how it's just like when we at our age, us Gen X people, we had the example of the baby boomers, but we didn't want it. We didn't want to be like the baby boomers because guess what? The baby boomers made us latchkey kids. We didn't want that for our kids necessarily. We wanted to be able to spend more time with our kids. And so it's becoming more and more of that. It's becoming more, they want to do different things. They don't want to do things that even the way the millennials did them. I was talking to a millennial. My actual immediate supervisor is a millennial, and she was like, "This Gen Z guy wants to date her, And she said, I just had a couple of conversations and I just listened to some of the stuff that he says. And she's like, we are totally different people. We're just a totally different breed. So I think it is important for us to hear them when they say we need some grace to be able to make our own decisions and be able to make our own mistakes without getting beat down for it. And a lot of people are saying now that these young people don't want to work, they don't want to work. That's not what I've found in all of the young people that I get an opportunity. I feel like it's a blessing to be able to talk to them. All of them want to work. What they don't want is to be taken advantage of. They don't want to be working for $12 and $15 per hour. They just don't want to do it. They understand that there is so much I don't even know the right word to use for it, but they're entrapped. This society entraps them and makes them feel like they really don't have an opportunity to even be homeowners, to be able to save or anything because they're being put in a box and they trying to pay them $15 an hour and they're like, we can't make it. We can't make it. We can't do it. And so we would rather go out there and be entrepreneurs. We would rather do things our way. And guess what? If that requires us to get out there and have an OnlyFans page, then doggone it, we're not working for 12 and $15 per hour. I ain't saying that is right. And that's what I mean by we so judgmental. We don't know. OnlyFans ain't only booty. Like there are people on there who are cooking. There are people on there who are doing other things because they are talented. But if it requires them to do what we have done and sit in an office for 40 to 60 hours per week, and they're still not even making the minimum of 100,000 per year, they're just like, we're not doing it. So I think that's what they mean by they just need a little grace. Just show us some grace. Allow us to make our decisions for ourselves and don't try to control our path because our path is different than your path was. You're gonna read something?
Yeah, my baby said my son told me that he didn't want to work every day like we do. At first, I kind of took offense, but then I thought about it, and that's exactly the goal: more control over your time.
That part. That
Um,
part. That's what we're working towards. That's what we're working towards. I like I said last week, it was like that was my first. I probably had one hard week during all the time that I've been working since I recently started back working because I wanted to just help things to move along a lot faster. I wanted to be able to do some more stuff that I wanted to do because our baby is 18. She's working. So I really don't have a reason to just be here every day, even though, I'm gonna free myself soon so that I can go back to traveling with my husband and all of that stuff. But I understand. I understand where he is and I understand what he's talking about because your time, you only get so much time on this earth. And then in a couple of years, I'm gonna be 50 years old. Babe, I already hit it. And we understand, go away. We understand the value in having your free time and the value in being able to do what you want instead of what somebody is telling you and then underpaying you, devaluing you. So I get it. I understand. He's on you. The bee is on you.
yeah, he won't leave me alone for some reason. But one of the
Mhm.
things that Gigi will mention about, you know, seizing the opportunity about your time. We're given so much time in a day. It's so many seconds and so many minutes in a day. And then you got to ask yourself, what am I doing right now? I'm spending a lot of time valuing others and what they say, what they want. But what are you doing for yourself? And does it really take 8 hours to do what you do most of the time? Some people, if they're in the manufacturing business, it may take that amount of time. If they're in the healthcare business, it may take that many amount of time. But some of these jobs, um, if you just came to work and just say, my rate is $300 today, and if it takes me 2 hours to do it, just give me my $300. If it takes me 4 hours to do it, just give me that 400 or 500 or whatever. There's no difference between a plumber or anything else. Imagine you hiring a plumber and you're saying, I'm going to pay you per hour to do a job that only took him an hour to do. What you think he going to do if he got to be there for 8 hours? He going to stretch that thing out, right? He going to take, I mean, he got to be there for 8 hours, even though it might not take him about 8 hours. So I think we have to open up our mindsets. Those of us who have the power to really evaluate work, evaluate quality work, evaluate output. I think we have to go back and take a look and see of this is what's been done, but was this stuff done? Most of this stuff was established during your manufacturing age. Most of this work thing was established during agriculture. And so we have locked people in to not being more free and being more of what we call productive. But we getting to the part where we still trying to put a square peg in a round hole. And we gotta take the time and really understand that some of the stuff we're doing, it should be task based rather than working so many hours, because we're doing two things. We're losing money, and at the same time, we're wasting a lot of people's time. And one thing that a lot of people are talking negative about AI, but I'm thinking positive about AI. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
use AI to give me more time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use AI to allow me to do the work that I need to do on my land, for my family, to do visits, to do whatever. Because when you think about it, you spend a lot of time wasting time for somebody else.
Yeah.
And to me, after hitting this 50 mark, is I don't want to waste no time.
You giving them all of your time, and then they're not even giving you enough for you to survive. And that's how the young people see it. I'm giving them these we worried about these billionaires business. I'm out here managing their money, and I'm looking at my paycheck like, well, dang, they just got $1 million in this month, and then I'm over here like, I ain't getting 1 million in a whole year. These young people, they just ain't with it. They
Yeah.
just ain't
And
with it.
and 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 that's how you progress to the part where you transition. What happens? It's like a lot of people said. I heard this one wise guy. He was talking about even AI. People saying it's going to outsmart and outwit humans, and he challenged that. He said that um, humans think, they create, they do more than just recall information. A lot of our scholars and different people like that, if unless they apply their own intellect and creativity, all they're doing is just recalling old information and data.
Mm.
And this place and these countries, these laws is ran by people that are dead.
Mm. We
We
got
we
dead people
we
still
still got
controlling
dead
us.
leadership. We got people who is dead in the ground that's still leading us, telling us what to do. And we think that's the law. And here it is where they had to think of some stuff themselves, right? To put this stuff in law. But then here we are, we're still going around listening what dead man dreams,
Mm.
living dead man goals, and living it out. Go ahead, Diddy.
The experience with Sassy said, wait a minute, hold on. Wayne, I don't know if you read Wayne's comment, but he said, y'all don't change. People tell me if you do this, that you would have more followers. I tell them I'm not trying to be a sheep. I am not here for more likes and subscribers. Um, and Sassy said an important point is that you can work towards reclaiming that time at whatever point or age in life that you are. Absolutely. Absolutely. 1000%. am teach Wayne said, I'm teaching my daughter to think outside the box, to create for herself, to be self-sustainable, not to go to work for toxic corporate America for 30 years, making them rich. H no. Follow your own dreams. Follow your own dreams. And I watch these people, you know, who like me work for the government. Watch these people who have been there for 35,
A lot of them
40
quit
years.
dreaming. A lot of them
And
quit dreaming.
yeah, I mean they've a long time stopped dreaming.
Yep.
And there was this one lady in particular, she was like, her body was twisted, she was having to walk with a walker, and we would be like, Miss G, like, why are you still here? And she said, sweetheart, I have to do this for 3 more years
Count them down.
in order for me to get my full retirement. And I'm like,
And
3 more years and you're already on a walker coming in here. But she had calculated exactly how long she would need to work for that governmental agency for her to be able to get enough money. And when she told me the numbers, I was like, ooh, that is not a lot of money. That is not a lot of money to have to live off. And she been doing this thing for almost 40 years.
I had a guy I talked to yesterday while I was washing clothes, right? And he's 70 years old. And he said that he had to get another job because he don't make about 18 something per month. And he said that when he was preparing for retirement, he did everything right. He worked for only about 2 companies in his life. And he worked like each company they would close and then he would go to another company and work and it closed. But now he driving a dump truck. He said the last company after they dissolved, they sent him to school, and he said he took a truck driving. And he said, "Yeah, I'm 70." He said the work ain't bad, but there's no way in the world I can make it off of 1,800 and some change an hour. And he said I had to go back to work. And I just think about people who have properly planned.
Per month.
What?
You said 1,800 per hour.
Oh, I'm sorry, 1,800 plus per month.
Mm-hmm.
But people who have properly planned and have truly did the right thing. There's a thing called inflation. There's a thing
Yes.
called devaluation. There's a
Yes.
thing called human greed. There's a
Mm-hmm.
thing called a lot of stuff. I just remember when I was younger, they did profit sharing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear nothing about no profit sharing. They had ethics. Like nonprofit organization had ethics. They didn't go over a certain percentage. Like they high executive say, I won't earn but so much a percentage over what we bring in.
Mm-hmm.
You had CEOs to say, I want to build a community environment. We want to add to the community environment where they wouldn't go surpass a certain amount. Now the new thing is, and this is why the workforce is what it is. These wealthy owners, the people that are in control, they're like, screw y'all. Let's get the much as we can get. Let's optimize and run as lean as we can get and lean, lean, lean. And then we're going to maximize our profits and we're going to go on our merrily way. And then we're going to step and repeat it, step and repeat it. And then so now the workforce said, screw y'all. I mean, I can't even make it. And I'm working 40 hours, 60 hours a week. I can't even pay my bills. And I'm literally a great worker. I come there, I'm dependable, I'm this and that. Why am I struggling?
Yes.
Why in the world am I struggling?
Yes.
And my answer to you is because you're feeding into the system and you're dependent and you're afraid of stepping out on your dreams and achieving your dreams. And most of us, we don't even know how to start. We don't even know that process. So I'm celebrating the youth because they dropping a lot of knowledge on social media, on everything. They are unlocking some of the hidden secrets. And so that's why I really rally behind our youth.
Absolutely.
And they're breaking down the barriers. And let's not suppress them as adults. Let's not be like, child, you crazy. How you gonna do this? Man, there's people doing basically what they feel, what they want. And it's art. And this is the crazy thing. Stuff that we see is stupid and silly. 20 and 30 years, it's gonna be a work of art.
Yeah.
And we're gonna respect it.
Yes.
You remember Tupac?
Yes.
Tupac was like, man, I remember growing up with Dr. Dre, all of that, seeing all that stuff, and people banned it.
Mm.
I got stopped walking down the street of my home downtown with Bad Boys hat on the Detroit Pistons, or with a certain plant on my hat. That still to this day I'm still questioning what are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yet you ain't banned for a cigarette.
Let me
sorry.
let me get into this chat. Nana, how you doing? Nana said we still got dead people in the seats of government. But I'm just over here drinking my tea.
And they running stuff.
And they running stuff.
Yep, they running our lives.
Tapping in from the Bay with much respect. How you doing, a resilient dad? Good to see you in the chat today.
What's up, Resilient?
Wait a minute. What else I saw? I saw something else that I wanted to. Nana said, if you have to break your body down or spend a majority of your productive hours doing something, do it for your enrichment and your family. Okay? Listen, that family is everything. That family is why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's for those who are coming after us. Like, yeah, we're gonna enjoy ourselves while we working. You know, we're gonna work hard and we're gonna play
hold
hard.
that point?
Yes.
People, fam, listen to me very carefully. If you don't hear anything, enjoy the process. I don't care whether you commuting to work, enjoy the process.
Yes.
I don't care whether you're going to the doctor office, enjoy the process. Whether you're healing, whether you're going through turmoil, whether you're going through pain, whether you feeding your family, whether y'all sitting down to lunch, whether you're on the phone, enjoy the process because time is limited, y'all.
Yes.
See what we talked about, what we've been thinking about, gratitude.
Yes.
Let's be intentional about gratitude. When we move, what we do, look, watch I do this. I'm thankful that I can get up. I'm thankful I can sit down. I'm thankful for a chair. I'm thankful for my beautiful wife. I'm thankful for Gigi.
Don't touch
I'm
my
so
chest
thankful.
like that.
I'm thankful for her chest.
You ain't slick.
I'm thankful for her beautiful smile. I'm thankful for our camaraderie. I'm thankful for our fellowship. I'm thankful for the sky. I'm thankful for the rain. Let's walk in gratitude. Let's be thankful for what we're doing and where we are, and having what we have. Let's move in a thankful mindset and watch the frequency and the vibration that you move in. You're gonna start attracting thankfulness. You're gonna start attracting blessings. You're gonna start attracting all kinds of different things. The animal's gonna look at you different. I mean, have you ever walked around and then you walking a dog or something, and the dog look at somebody that you thought was nice, like
Yeah.
or growls?
Yeah. And
Pay
you'll be
attention.
like, what's wrong with you?
Pay attention.
What is wrong with you? But those animals know.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. And they know. It's just like when we went to get our daughter's dog. Our daughter had this friend at school who was in the band with her. He was telling her that, you know, he had some dogs or whatever, and that they were giving the dogs away. And so when we went out there, we were like, okay, we'll just go and see the dogs or whatever, see what kind of dogs they are. And we saw the puppies and, you know, oh, the puppies are cute. Found out they were lab and pit mixed. And we were like, okay. I said, well, I asked the father, I said, well, can we see the mother? Because I wanted to know what the temperament of these dogs would be. And so he was like, oh, yeah, sure. So went to let the dog out of the pen. And the dog immediately made a beeline straight to Eco Neighbor and jumped up on the fence for him to pet her. So they know, these dogs know, these animals, period, they know good people versus everybody else. So you have to pay attention to them. Pay attention to the way that nature is, period.
Yeah.
You know, when you see things happening. I was listening to this one gentleman yesterday. I don't, he was a scientist or something like that. And so I'm listening to him, and he was talking about the difference between organically growing stuff and the pesticide filled foods. Now, he's a scientist now, okay? Keep that in mind. And so he was saying that when things are organically grown, he said people, particularly the American people, have this idea that stuff is supposed to look perfect. It's supposed to not have any spots, any bite marks, or anything on it. He was like, but when you know about organic gardening, when you know about growing organic food, you're gonna know that if this thing has some spots on it, it's supposed to, because you have the bugs, you have the insects, the pests that are doing their job. And he was saying that the pests are actually giving uh, natural pest control, and it's actually giving your fruit exactly what your fruit needs, because it's getting the natural stuff. It's creating the natural stuff that your fruit actually needs. And so when you see those spots, and when you see that it's not perfect, that's going to give you a better idea that your fruit is exactly what it's supposed to be. And it's giving off natural pest control because you're not doing all of that crap. You're not doing all of that stuff to your food. Yes, Trish. Yes, the dogs know. They absolutely know. I got some socks like that. What? What, Brother Lawrence? Uh, yes, gratitude and everything. That's one of the things. I was in there yesterday. I was in there, no, this morning when Eco Neighbor started this live stream, and he was talking about um what was going wrong and all this and all that. And I'm in there and I'm like, do you have anything nice to say right now? And then he said, well, I'm going to speak life. And I was like, there you go. That's what we on. We ain't on all this complaining about this and complaining about that. I get tired of hearing it. I don't want to hear the complaints. I just want to move forward. Positive mindset, positive thinking, positive high level energy. That is where we are in life. That's what we own at this point. Um, y'all preaching this morning. Start small, stop investing in other folks' dreams and companies. Come on, Regenerative Wayne. We have been programmed to be proud, to have a title at this company, etc. Just nonsense. Dogs know and babies know. Um, a resilient dad. I'm so glad you said that, because I tell my daughter all the time, do not try to force your baby. Don't try to force your baby to like people that they don't like. Don't do that to children, because the children are in their purest form. They're so pure. They are just like the animals. They still listen to what the Most High has to say. They still hear, they still understand nature. We get those babies out here and they're just looking around at everything, and they just having you could just tell, like, mentally, they're just having a blast. They want to get in the dirt. They want to play with, and they be wanting them to be all nice and cute and all of that. But our garden, our garden.
One of them. One of them. It's heavy.
But they want them to be all nice and cute. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This gonna be a good.
And this is not really a big watermelon. Like this type of watermelon does not get big, but this is a good standard size.
Get it.
It's heavy.
That's big enough.
Got some weight to it.
That's big enough. But they want them to be all cute. But when they leave here, they ain't clean no more. We make sure. You gonna cut it on camera?
Cut it on camera. Why not?
Man.
Woo!
Oh,
yeah, I hear that. Listen.
it just pushed.
Yeah.
Okay, now see, you're gonna have me going to get a bowl and get the flies. Wait a minute. Oh my God.
Look at that, y'all.
Okay, let me taste it.
Look at
Ooh,
that.
ooh, thank you.
Make sure you hold it
This
up so
what
we
we
can
talk.
see it.
Oh, my bad. This is what we talking about, y'all.
Can I try some?
Oh yeah.
Does it taste like watermelon?
Stop. Careful. This knife is sharp. Oh my gosh.
Mmm. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hmm. Oh my God. I need this.
Cheers to you.
I needed this. I needed this, y'all. I have been waiting, and
Save the seed.
I was telling him that I wanted to eat just watermelon today. He was like, "Well, I was gonna harvest it during the live stream," and I'm like, "Oh man, you're gonna make me wait." Hmm.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
think about what it does for you.
this is on point. Mm.
But we have to harvest it because we're gonna expect some cold weather coming on,
Yeah,
and we got quite a few more next year.
so good.
If the Lord be willing, I'm gonna plant a lot because I noticed that some of our neighbors they've been planting acres of it.
Hmm.
So they plant. I found out we can grow eggplants here. I mean, we talking about acres of eggplants.
Oh my gosh, they have so many eggplants. They
Yeah.
got this one farm that they would just have truckloads of just eggplant, and they are beautiful. I know, they
They
use a bunch of pesticides or whatever, but they're so beautiful. That purple, that deep
deep and
purpley
big.
black look, so beautiful.
And I saw watermelons.
Hmm.
I saw, of course, corn,
Hmm.
bell peppers, acres of bell peppers,
Hmm.
and something else I thought was unique that they grew. I can't remember what it was. Stuff I don't think
Mm.
about growing like here.
Obviously, we grow like a lot of cotton
Hmm.
in this area,
Peanuts,
just
of
like
course.
in peanuts, just like in Georgia. So,
Yeah, ain't nothing like homegrown in the home.
hey,
Is that a
Linda.
strawberry watermelon?
I don't know what this is.
I don't
I
know. They
don't know.
said the variety doesn't get that big. I can't remember because we plant different stuff, and
I don't know.
I can't even remember. I just
But
know
this
it's
is
good.
it's a big
It's a
watermelon.
hefty watermelon.
It's not like not. I mean, shoot. I'm sitting here trying to hold this. This thing got to be at least 15 pounds because I'm
15,
like, yeah, because
solid now.
I
I think it's 12.
I think about a gallon of milk. It's 10 pounds, right?
Oh, gallon milk is 10 pounds?
10 pounds, and this is heavier than a gallon of milk.
Yeah.
Like
It was
this
heavy.
one side
It was solid.
feels like, yeah, you about to get on my nerve.
Yes, a bee. They keep flying around and it
Dang,
won't leave
just
us
told me
alone.
not to go away.
Won't leave us alone. But can can y'all cut me a yeah. Matter of fact, Sassy, here you go. Here you go, Sassy. We'll say this for you right here. This yours. Now, if you don't come within the next 20 minutes, I might have to take care of it for you. Because I don't want it to go bad. There's nothing worse than food going bad. 'Cause I was
Yeah.
taught not to let food go bad. Miss OG, Miss Shirley OG, how you doing? Good to
Bit the
see
seeds everywhere. Exactly.
you. She already know. She already know. Because I'm telling you, folk gonna get tired of eating when they walk out here. I'm sick of food. There's food everywhere. Look, y'all think it's a game. All this, I've been praying for this for a long time. And I'm telling you, there's not gonna be a rhyme or reason. And we already got people to come out here, they be like, how do you know that that's what that is?
Yeah.
It looks like all these forests and weeds and all that. How do you know that's what it is?
Mm.
When you plant it, when you grow it, you know it. Who said that? Somebody said that. Shout out to
Yeah.
whoever said it.
Shout out to
When you grow it, you know it.
him.
For real free. Eco, you eating eating too fast. I'm just down the road. Hey, you better come quick. I'm telling you now,
Hurry up.
it's gonna be gone. I can't wait to plant these next year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beautiful thing about planting. 2 seeds, and look how many seeds we got now.
Mm-hmm.
Come in, wait a minute. This thing backwards. I can't show it. Oh, for 2 seeds, look at all them seeds we got now.
Yeah.
This
seeds?
changes generations right here, y'all. This is the difference between growing your own stuff, harvesting your own stuff, and preparing for the next season,
Mm-hmm.
After a while, we do some years of this, we can grow some acres of watermelon.
Oh yeah.
And I was told how much per acre? Generally, 4,000.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's like $4,000 or $5,000 per acre of watermelon, average.
Cha-ching.
That you grow. And all you gotta do is just till up some stuff, put
Mm-hmm.
it in there, and let nature take its course.
Mm-hmm.
And you go gets to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We gotta do this.
This our first mukbang?
Oh, really? No, we done one before back at the house. We done one before at the house.
Yeah. I'm gonna take this in.
I'm about ready for Pamela though.
Oh, I know.
Pamela is
Our pomelo.
our pomelo. It's not as big as the last one, but it's a young plant.
Well, I was about to say
She
she's
real
not
young.
as big as our
She
tree
real
was.
young.
Our tree was humongous.
You want us to open that one up?
The pomelo?
Pomelo?
Not today.
Okay.
No, she needs time.
I want
Like
okay.
December.
So let's talk about citrus. With citrus, what we like to do is have that first little frost come.
Mm-hmm.
And we get first frost, we wait maybe a day or two, and then we pick the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about citrus, when you let a little frost hit it, to protect the plant, to protect itself, it's a bunch of sugars that goes throughout the plant, and the sugars are transformed and processed into the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
It's placed into the fruit. So if you let that little frost hit it, and yeah, the plant gonna look weak, it's gonna look wilted. But with citrus, if you let that little frost hit it, and then you wait maybe a few days or maybe even that next day,
Mm-hmm.
the fruit taste is gonna be like night and day if you didn't wait till the frost. So
Mm-hmm. My mom taught me to do the same thing with collards too.
oh yeah, collards.
She was like, they're gonna be so tender, they're gonna taste so much better. You just, if your summer collards, you've been growing them, you let that first cold hit them, let that first frost hit them. I'm gonna get you. All right,
and you'll be good. But hey, fam, I'm glad y'all came on in to Eco Nation News. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully it was news you can use, but make sure y'all continue to keep on growing. I love y'all. See y'all until the next time. Y'all take care and be a blessing to others. Y'all be well and be blessed. Take care.
Have a great day, guys.
Let's get into it.